Okay, guys, Troy Francis here with Dr. Silk, coming at you from Warsaw in Poland. Now, what we're going to do in this video is look at a live demonstration that Dr. Silk did in a shopping centre here in Warsaw, where he went and had a conversation with an actually very attractive woman and engaged with her and got some contact details. So, without further ado, let's go into it. We're going to have a look at what he does and we're going to break down what's happening, okay? So, here we go.
Hi, excuse me. I know this is spontaneous.
Just to say, the sound at the beginning is a little bit, how can I say, flaky, just because of, I think the microphone was rubbing.
Rubbing against my bag.
Yeah, but you can hear anyway what's being said, so let's go into it.
But I saw you. I think you look really cute. I wanted to say hi. I'm Michael. What is your name?
I'm
Genia. Genia. So Genia, I'm curious. Are you from here?
No, I'm from Ukraine.
You're from Ukraine. Okay. Because I'm not from here either, but I've been here for 3 days now, and I think Warsaw is a very interesting city.
Am I right in saying at the beginning there she was a little bit reluctant? Like you went in, you made the compliment, and she was sort of as if she was going to move away. Is that correct?
Yes, sort of. Because I mean, her mindset was like, I want to give her a compliment, and that's the only thing I want to do. She didn't expect me to actually go in and have a normal conversation with her.
No, exactly. But this is great stuff, because often what happens is a guy will go in and we teach him, you know, the day game model. He'll go and say, hey, listen, I saw you look really cute. I want to say hi. And she'll go, oh, okay, hi, thanks. And then she'll just walk off.
Yeah.
And then you won't be able to continue it. So the skill set really here is, even if initially it's not that she's not interested or whatever, but it's just like she's just like, okay, right, and I'm going to walk off now. But if you're able to continue it, and engage her in a conversation, that's the skill set, isn't it?
Absolutely, because I mean, what I can say here now is like, okay, she acknowledged me, and she took the compliment quite well.
Yeah.
And now she just want to go on with her life.
Exactly.
So whatever passive value I'm demonstrating there, I mean, the way I said the compliment and everything has its place. But now it's time to create connection.
You've got to build
that. Yeah, that important connection has to be built.
Okay.
And that is what we are going to focusing on right now.
Cool.
I really like it. You've been here 7 years. Wow, Janina. Yes, Genia. What do you think about the city? Interesting.
Yes.
Okay.
Really.
Little English.
I misunderstand the
Oh, but I think we speak easy English then. I want to know, what do you think is interesting in Warsaw? Yeah, what do you think? Yeah, I've been there. Oh. Okay. So you are saying to me that you like Warsaw because it's very beautiful, because of the...
So once again, what we see here is you're clarifying and paraphrasing what she's said.
Basically. And also, I'm using a lot easier English now, because her English is not top-notch for sure. So from her perspective, she feels like she cannot speak at all, basically. So I have to like mirror her level of English, basically, and make it very easy, quite slow, you know, in terms of speed when we're speaking. But that doesn't take away the fact that I'm really showing that I'm genuinely curious about her.
Okay.
And also to create that important connection. So I still stick to the plan. So whatever I feel the interaction goes to, I just stick to the plan.
Okay. So just for guys who are new to this sort of approach, it's the reason that you say to her, so what do you think about Warsaw? And she tells you, and then you clarify. She says, oh, it's interesting. So what do you mean by interesting? And then you paraphrase back to her, effectively. And the reason you're doing that is because that's helping to create connection.
Absolutely. In order to understand the empathy part of her, we're talking about creating sort of a trust within each other, because trust is actually based on understanding. So, right now we are actually connecting, and I did start up a two-way communication with her, and so far it's going quite well. But we see how it goes later on.
Okay.
The old town, because of the Łazienki, this what is it? It's like a park,
Park,
national park.
something like that.
Yeah, it's beautiful because many places I have been to, I have not seen, a park so central. So I really like it too. Yeah, I know. I saw so many things. But you have been here for 7 years. If you would recommend me one thing that you like to do, yes, in Warsaw, what would that be?
In this moment,
It's closed. Oh,
registration.
okay.
It's how to say, like a monument,
Mhm.
but it's
I think I know what you mean. It's like historical stuff.
yes, yes, it's from Historia.
And now I got her into the state of she wants to tell me what she thinks about things, what she really wants to recommend me, what she likes to do in Warsaw. If there would be the one thing that she want to do in Warsaw that she could recommend to me. So she take up her phone and trying to find the place which she really like about Warsaw and show it to me. So that's
Right.
what she's doing right now.
Right.
And that is a very strong indication of a connection being created.
Yes, because
Basically.
why would she spend that time
Yeah.
to look on her phone if there wasn't that connection there that's been formed?
Absolutely. And while we're creating that kind of connection now, I know by from the cutting edge science in communication that the chemical reaction in the brain in her right now was actually spiking to the roof. So she's really happy to tell me what you think about things.
Right.
And those chemical reactions are actually dopamine, oxytocin, and endorphins. And those are hormones that is actually not hormones, single substances in the brain that actually connect people.
Yes.
Yeah.
And this is backed by Harvard Science, of course.
Yeah. Harvard University made a very robust report about this one, scientific paper. Yeah.
Okay, so she's still looking.
Yeah, she's
on the
now
phone.
try to look for the things that she wants to show me that you have to visit this place.
Yeah, yeah.
It's there, and
Okay.
from this place,
Mhm.
you can see over.
Wow. So it's like a very good view doc.
Yes, 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 yes.
But you said it was closed.
Yes, because it's registration.
Okay. So if this one is closed, what would be the second thing that you would recommend?
I don't know many.
Many things. You seem to be very happy to be here.
I like the place.
Wow. Yeah, it's from the Second World War. I can see.
You see how I hold my hand.
Yeah, so you touch towards her lower back to sort of emphasize, I suppose.
Yeah, but I did it in connection with the labeling her emotions.
Okay.
Yeah, so what I use now is something that is very powerful, and that is the power of labeling.
Is this like an NLP thing?
No, not really. It's like no, not really. I mean, this is labeling is one of the communication tools that we're going to use
so
practically from the communication theory. And when I'm labeling, it also gives me the chance to actually be a little bit more physical.
Okay, well. so what did you label? Sorry, because I think maybe I just.
You seems to be happy to be living in Warsaw.
Fine. Okay.
And then I can see her reaction, how she thinks about. Oh yeah, you're right. That means that I emphasize that I really understand her situation in Warsaw right now.
Right.
And based on that kind of response I got, I came and I just tap her easily on the back.
And the touch then seems appropriate because you've made a point and she's agreed with the point, and then you're sort of emphasizing it with
absolutely
with the touch, yeah.
And create polarization.
Well, yes, of course, that's the other aspect of it.
Yes.
That's happening at the same time.
Absolutely.
Wow, it's amazing. Wow, as you can see, you did a beautiful picture. I want a picture from this one.
That's fine.
Do you normally take pictures when you see beautiful views? So if I understand you correctly, you like beautiful views. That's what you mean. That's why you recommend this place. It seems to be, yeah, you have a visual sense about beautiful cities.
I mean, again, this is seems to me to be getting close to a sort of cold read kind of thing. I mean, is that correct, or am I at the ballpark here?
That's correct. That's correct. But remember, everything is still require calibration, and my calibration now is based on her not being able to speak so much in English.
Yes.
You see, so this is not a person that can express herself very clearly in English, and she's thinking a lot, but she doesn't know how to express it.
Yes.
And then I'm coming in and sort of helping her.
Yes. Yes.
To make that kind of a, not to be like a. I mean, you have to do it calibratedly.
Yeah.
And with that calibration, I just help her to emphasize that I understand what she means, I understand what she stands.
Yeah.
That's why I go. So this is a little bit more than what I actually need to do with someone that actually speaks English.
Yes. Yes.
So we have to take into account that this girl understands much more than what she can speak.
Right.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
But now you've been here, as you said, 7 years. What do you think is better here than in Ukraine? Before, of course, before. Everything.
I like my city, I like my country, but I don't know why.
Yeah, okay. But you never think about going back to Ukraine? Okay. Okay. Visit them. Yeah, visit them, family them. Okay. So, I mean, 7 years. Can I ask you, what are you doing here in Warsaw? Work, okay. Business?
My friends, in this moment, I got, she's doing this, and I
Oh, really? Like you?
from the,
Okay. So, doing your own. So, in general, when it comes to doing your own business and that kind of thing, are you a person that likes to work in front of a computer or working with people? You are a people person. Interesting. I like working with people too. I mean, I don't like this office job. I mean, first of all, I look Asian, very Asian, but I actually from Sweden and Norway.
So you are now volunteering some information about yourself.
Yeah, and I'm doing it in a very concise manner.
So it's concise, but at the same time, as we said with the older model, for daytime approach, you've got to reveal something about yourself. So she's got a concrete idea of you.
Yeah, but by doing it in reflective listening skills. So when I'm reflecting back, I like, oh yeah, me myself here, me myself there. But this is the only way that I can actually keep it short and concise, because in general, people are not so eager to listen too much about what other people says.
Yeah.
Even though you're the most fascinating person in the world, they're not so eager to hear so much about you anyway. You just have to face it. This is what it is.
Yeah.
And what I want to emphasize here as well is that when I do say something, because I mean, I do talk almost like a balanced, like 50-50 here. I'm mainly talking about her.
Yes.
So it's me and her talking about her.
Yeah.
And that is the key. And that makes everything so interesting for her.
Yeah.
We are talking about her. So the spotlight is on her all the time. I'm giving her my undivided attention.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, and I live in Gdynia. It's in the north part of Poland. So I'm a casino manager for a ship between Norway and Sweden. But I work 2 weeks work and 4 weeks free. So that's what I'm doing. Yeah, and I'm just enjoying myself in Poland. It's a lovely place. Oh, thank you. So I'm also curious because most of the time I feel like people that open their own business and go on with their passion, they are a little bit, they are different because they have a drive that I like. But what is the number one reason you're starting your own business?
So this is a good line of questioning, isn't it, that you've used a couple of times, which is this. So what is the number one reason for this, for this choice that you've made, for this thing that you're doing?
Because that makes you think about one of the important reasons she did it. Instead of like, why did you get into open your own business? That becomes like very broad topic. Like, oh, there are so many reasons. But if you will name the number one reason, now she starts thinking about perhaps not the number one, but the top reason of why she opened her own business, or the top reason of why she thinks opening her own business is valuable for her.
Yeah.
You see? So it's more like
focus,
like a specific question.
Yeah.
Just one of it, because you have passion about it. Okay. But you know, before you opened the business, what were you thinking? Were you thinking like, I want to do something free, or what was your mind before, just before? With someone.
So, is there something here to do with, you sort of talk about before, present, and future? Somehow sort of pacing. Is that what you're doing here? You're saying, so what did you think about before you started the business?
Yeah, because when she's saying that, you know, I am having my own business here. I have my own business. I mean, that means so much for her.
Yeah.
Because that is her entire life basically at the moment.
Yeah.
When she's saying something like that. And what kind of guy would I be if I'm not very interested about the story between her and open a business?
Yeah, good point.
You see what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah.
And that is actually being more yourself than you've ever been, because I'm showing her my genuine interest about her life and her values as a person.
Yeah, yeah. Good point. Because otherwise you just say, oh, you opened a business, cool. So where do you like going on Friday nights? You know, and it's just, you're not acknowledging something that's very, like you say, very, very key, very, very important for her.
Absolutely.
I can do it by myself.
Okay.
Why I need to work for something?
Wow. So I understand. So that is what you were thinking. And now when you are a businesswoman, having your own company, what is the difference between the thinking before and now? Grow up. So it changes you a little bit, you think?
I don't know.
You don't know? If there would be, I'm so curious because I love that kind of energy that you give, and I like people that are driven. But if I understand you correctly, you started your own business and going your own way because you don't want to work for anyone. And you're thinking like...
I like work with somebody, and now I have my own business, and I work with it.
Okay.
I like to talk to people.
You like to, okay. You seem very open and socialized, sort of. But I can definitely feel a little bit like you are a person that like to do a lot of things in the same time. Is that so?
So again, you're sort of, what are you doing here? You're sort of saying, what I gather about you from what you said is this, and you're sort of, is that labeling her, or is that sort of...
It's like summarizing.
Right.
I'm summarizing, and I put the labeling on the top. But normally I summarize, and then I used to go with sort of a, you know, like, did I understand it correctly? More like a closed-ended question if I understood it. But since her English level cannot really comprehend exactly what the actual question is, I more or less have to answer for her in a very, very calibrated way.
But is this kind of, you know, when people used to talk about cold reading, and it was not based in coming out of conversation like you, but probably more just guesswork. You'd say, you seem to me to be a very artistic person, or you seem to be a very analytical person. Is the reason why people would recommend cold reading and what you're doing similar in that it's about sort of showing that you understand her?
Yeah, but it is not necessarily different, because necessarily it's the same, because what I'm doing here is just like something that I have substance on.
Yeah,
so,
of course,
so
of course,
I know why she's doing things. I understand the background of things. I understand her whys, and then I make it doesn't matter exactly how I going to like mention it, but I mention it with meat on the legs, with substance. But if you're going with a cold read without substance, they become a game.
then it's a guessing game. Yes, but is the sort of motivation is because it's like it sort of somehow gives the interaction weight because it's like I see you, I can see something about you.
In this particular interaction, definitely. But if I would just give her a cold read, like, oh, you look like a lawyer, based on nothing, that will become like it will not be part of creating connection. That will be part of increasing the buying temperature. The do has its place a little bit in the beginning, but it doesn't create any connection. But when I'm doing it now, is for the purpose of creating connection.
Okay. Yeah.
So that's very different.
You seem happy with your life. Wow, I like that attitude. It's just beautiful. You know, it's just beautiful. I like that. You know what? I want to be here for a couple of days more. But since I'm living close, I'm coming back quite often because I just love Warsaw. I mean, it's a beautiful city, as you said, and it's so many things you can do in Warsaw with culture and everything. But you know, I think you look really nice and interesting. So maybe we can have a coffee when I'm coming back. Is that okay? Yeah. Do you have WhatsApp or Instagram? So let's also okay. Which one do you use most? Instagram. Okay, so I have the best Instagram name ever. It's Michael in Poland. Okay, so how about this one? If we do this, okay. So if you can write down your.
We don't have any rooms ready. Yes.
Okay, so something I want to emphasize here is that, you know, before I'm actually asking for details, I actually going for what I actually want to do with her.
Right.
First.
Okay.
So I go and say, like, you know what, I find you really, I mean, you look really nice.
Yeah.
I find you really interesting, and I would love to have coffee with you.
Okay.
What do you say? If she say yes, I said, like, okay, now how are we going to communicate with each other? Instagram, WhatsApp, whatever fits her, yeah? But if you say no, I'm sorry, I can't, then I will not ask for the contact details.
Okay. Yeah.
So that's what I did here now. And that's going to give you a lot of less flakes once you start texting her afterwards.
Right. Okay.
You don't need any pure texting game in order to create a connection by text, because you already created a connection right here.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And the more, the better the initial approach, the less text game that you need.
Absolutely.
Because it just becomes very functional of sort of.
Yeah, exactly. So the purpose of Instagram here between me and her is basically just a means of where are we going to meet for the date, basically.
Yes. Awesome stuff. Okay, well, look.
No, it's not finished yet. We have to.
Oh. Well, in that case,
we have just a little bit. We're going to see the ending here.
Okay, sorry about that. Here we go.
Evelyn, wow, it's great to meet you, Evelina. I have to go and find my friend now, but it was a pleasure to talk with you, and I hope I will see you again. Okay? Bye. You too. Bye.
That part is important as well. So what I'm trying to do here as well is to create the last polarization between me and her. Me being the man, she's being the woman, and giving her a hug with a kiss on the side here.
Okay.
Which I did here as well. So
nice.
So it was really good.
So again, it's more about the undercurrents, the subcommunication here, because on the surface the conversation could seem very sort of everyday, but what's being subcommunicated, of course, is that ultimately you're a guy, she's a woman. You've taken her contact details, and you've also kissed her in that way. She knows what the deal is. The deal it's very clear, but it's not spoken because you're meeting in a daytime situation, right? You're not going to be super like sexualized or anything, are you?
Which you shouldn't be either.
No, because it's kind of weird.
I mean, in normal Monday.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just not calibrated. But with that said, when it comes to the verbals, I mean, it's still, even though for the untrained ear, it sounds like a pretty normal conversation day by day. But for a trained ear, that kind of conversation is backed by a lot of science behind it.
right,
in order to make her tell you what she thinks about things, in order to not only keep the conversation in a plateau level, but actually slightly increase it all the time, and in the terms of her feeling well talking with me.
Yeah, and so the research shows that her talking about herself, what she thinks about things, that increases the connection between the two of you, and it gives her these spikes in terms of hormones.
The signal substances in the brain, and those signal substances, dopamine, endorphins, oxytocin, is actually the love signal substance in the brain. So if the love chemical reactions in the brain are spiking, that is how we create connection. That is like the chemical reaction in the brain that actually bond people together.
Cool. Fantastic stuff, as always, Dr. Silk. So if anybody watching this wants to discuss incorporating these techniques into their own dating toolkit, and you absolutely should, because this stuff is cutting edge and it works, obviously, get in touch. Mr. Silk does offer consulting, but it's on a very much a case-by-case basis because his time is very valuable. But if you want to discuss that, working with Dr. Silk and myself or both of us, drop me an email, troy@realtroyfrancis.com, or you can book a call on the calendar link below. We can do a free 15-minute call and we can discuss next steps and how to move forward with this. Thanks ever so much, as always.
Thank you.
Great to see you. We'll see you guys again in the next video.